So periods 1, 3, and 4 got into lesson 2 this past week. I don't think period 0 did yet, but we got through it all in class in period 1, 3, and 4. Let's take a look now at the lesson 2 exercises and make sure we're good to go on lesson 2. The three main types of variables used in Java, and what are they used to store? Well, again, that's right in the first page back here. You have strings, you have ints, and you have doubles. Strings store names, letters, sentences, or any combination of characters. Ints store integers, and of course you know what integers are. They're the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, dot, 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 and all their opposites like -1, -1, -1, -2, -3, -4. And then doubles can store numbers that may contain decimal points. They don't have to, but they may. We'll also see that doubles can hold very, very large values, and integers have a much more limited range. Okay. Question 2. What type of variable would you use to store your name? That would be a string variable. Okay. You'd say something like string name equals double quote Brent Reisky double quote semicolon. Number 3. What type of variable to store the square root of 2? That would be a double because it's going to have decimals there. If you just go to 3 decimals, you'd say something like double D equals 1.414, something like that. Number 4, to store your age. You ask me how old I am, I say I'm 55. If I ask you, you say you're like 15, 16, 17 or so. That just requires an int. Number 5, let's put that in the screen for you. Number 5, a single line of code that'll create double precision variable named P, and it stores that big number there. So double P equals 1.92. You could use capital E or lowercase e. The book uses capital E, so I will too. And there it is. There's number 5, what they want. Okay. Number 6, a single line of code creates a variable named I and stores 407 in it. So int I equals 407 semicolon. Good. 7, single line of code, make it a string, name my name, and store your name in it. Excellent little quiz question, all 3 of those for lesson 2. 8, another line of code that just declares count of type int. Don't initialize it. Remember, declare and initialize are vocabulary words for lesson 2. Int count. 9, a line of code that initializes. Doesn't declare and initialize, just initialize a double precision variable named bank balance. So you assume it's already been declared. You just initialize it. So we say bank balance 136.05. Okay. Number 10. Which of these are legal variable names? Well, the second one is not because it starts with a number. The third one is not, it has a dash in it. The fourth one is not legal because it has a semicolon and plus it starts with a semicolon. That's wrong. The next one, public, is not legal. It's a keyword we use every day in class, right, with our skeleton. Doubled, that's good. So far, Scooter 13 is good and doubled is good. Double is not, that's our variable type. And then AB space C is not, so because it has a space in there. So the good ones are just Scooter 13, that's good, and doubled. Everything else would cause an error. 11, what are the most acceptable ways of naming a variable? your professor in college will probably make you name variables like C there. They start with lowercase and all new words have a capital letter. That's the best one, but groovy underscore dude in some workplaces, perhaps even some college classes, might be okay too. So B and E. And 12, are these legal statements or not? Double DIST equals other than 3? Yes. You might think it's not because there's no decimal point, but again, you can put an int into a double, but like in the second line here, we cannot put a double, something with decimals, into an int. So the first line is legal, second line is illegal. And again, if you didn't know, if you just really didn't know what the answers here were, you would open up BlueJ, get a tester going, and type this code in and compile it, and you'd see that the first one is legal, second one is illegal, and the third one, we didn't discuss this in class, the third one, but you can do this. You can put these separators in there. Kind of weird, huh? I didn't mention that in class, did I? Let's make sure you believe me and try it. Let's go back here, and they're useful for like big numbers. So like if we have a number like, oh, int num equals maybe 234,321,987. Okay, you could do it that way, of course. Compile it, make sure it works. No problem, no errors. But you know, you look at this number, and even from a foot and a half away where I am from my screen, it's kind of hard to read all those numbers garbled together. Especially imagine, what if you had something like this? 2, 2, 2, maybe even some more 2's. Okay? And that's really hard to read. If I put that in the whiteboard, that'd be super hard to read from the back of the room. What do we do normally in math classes and science classes is we put commas, right? We use commas every third number from the right, and that makes it much more readable. And now we see what it is. Let's see, right. But commas are not allowed in Java. Okay, you can't put commas as separators. So what do we do instead? We use these underscores. Okay, if you want to separate it out to make it more readable. And that works fine. We don't do it much, but if you had a bunch of numbers written together like that, you would definitely be making your code more readable to someone you're turning it into or sharing it with at work. Okay, good stuff. Thanks for listening.